I watched GCW's Green Mountains and Me, hoping at least one match would hit, but I never got that. And what happens in the main event will tell you everything you need to know. The Scramble match with Anthony Green, Teriyaki, Johnny Pierce, Corey Jackson, Devious Cass, and Ryan O'Neal had more energy than the previous Scramble match, but it still stays stuck in first gear, 2.5 stars. And trust me, this was only the warm-up to how weird the show gets. Marcus Mathers vs. Don Freeze lean onto the same blueprint as Mathers vs. Ace Romero, but this version had more balance and better twists. So even with the clunky moments, it held together enough for a good match at just 3 stars. And honestly, this might have been the last time all show that things felt kinda normal. Because the next match, bruh, Maki Itoh vs. Selena Hekate took forever to get moving. But even once it did, nothing clicked. This was the worst match on this show at just 1 star. And sadly, that's not even the most disappointing part on this show. But none of that compares to what went wrong in the world title match. But we'll get there. Bustah and the Brain vs. Memory Museum for the GCW Tag Team titles dragged early and didn't click right away. But it did pick up at the end at just 3 stars. But we're still going downhill fast. Ricky Morton vs. Kerry Morton happened, but Ricky's in his 70s, so it played out exactly how you expect. A quick, basic, forgettable segment with the NA rating. I mean, he's 70, bro. What do you want? That was still not the low point though. Keep going. Billie Starkz vs. Shotzi Blackheart could have been good, but it didn't get the time that it needed at just 2.5 stars. But the next match is where the show briefly wakes up before dying again. BearDozer vs. the Lost Boys ended up being the best match on this show. Now you could argue the Lost Boys weren't even proven at this level coming in, but to their credit, they rose to the occasion at just 3.5 stars. This was the only time on this show that had a real pulse, because that world title match, yeah, that's where hope goes to die. Effy vs. Danhausen leaned heavy on comedy and personality, but none of this landed. This was such a lame match with a lame finish at just 1.5 star. And now, the moment that broke this show. The Joey Janela vs. My Sacro match for the Green Mountain title was originally the main event, but it gets turned into a tag team match player with Janela and Mullet Man vs. Skyros and KJ Orso. Just a blah 2.25 star main event. This felt like the show gave up on itself. This was not a good show. This gets a 6.0 out of 10. Not recommended.